Good morning. Now this is just one I'm shoving in between, but I hope it's enjoyable anyway. The reason for this is, and most of you know about my mum, I know she was about 6 weeks ago, she was given a few days to live. She had a stroke, she had a fall and a stroke. She couldn't see, she couldn't move, she couldn't swallow, she couldn't eat, she couldn't anything. So that was it then. They just withdrew all medicine. It was just nursing care until she passed away. Well, 6 weeks later, she's going back home. She's sitting up in bed. She wants a gin and tonic. She needs 24-hour care at the moment, and for how long I don't know. But she's going back home. We've got social services to put new beds in, everything. There's loads of equipment gone into a little flat that she's got. So she's going back there, and she's going back there tomorrow. So I'm going up there, and I don't know when I'm going to be back. We'll be ensconcing her into a new little palace, which means that's the end of my inheritance, but I don't mind that. I think I'd rather have my mum round and be skint. I've never had any money in my life, so if you gave me any money, I'd probably just spend it on silly things. I can't think what. I can't think of anything I want. So today is just a day. Oh, let's go have a look at these sheepies. Today is just a day for wandering about, and I brought the camera out because I want to record the last of autumn, because we're having high winds now and it's going to blow all the leaves away. Look at this. Sheeplies. A field full of sheeplies, and there's a heron. Loads of sheep and a heron wandering about in the middle of him. I can see the top of his head. You won't be able to see it. I'll try and zoom in, but I doubt I'll be able to. He's over there somewhere, Mr. Heron. Sheep all over there. There's hundreds of them. Lots of sheep in this country. And on the other side of this field is just this bank of trees that are gold and brown and red and green, and that's what I want to record today. So that's all it's going to be. It's just going to be pretty much a celebration of the season. Now, we don't have particularly egregious weather here. We don't have particularly bad weather over here. When we have a storm, it basically blows a couple of trees down, blows some fence panels down and throws rubbish all over the road and blows the odd lorry over on the motorway, but that's about it. We don't have massive storms that wreak havoc, you know, up north. Well, even round here, I remember in the past, years ago, we used to have winters. We had, if anybody else is my age and remembers, was it 1973, 1974, we had that winter that brought the country to a standstill for months on end, and there were feet and feet of snow. I remember that. And then we've had, in 1953 again, I think it was the my mum's told me about it, a flood in Cornwall, and basically a river swelled up, and when it reached the coast, it swept a village away and killed loads of people. And then, of course, and I've got a video about this on my channel way back in the beginning, there was the Aberfan disaster. You know, the Aberfan disaster, what year would that have been? That would have been 1960, by the 1966, 1967, something like that, because that was, and that was kind of weather related, but there was a school in Wales, in a place called Aberfan, which is actually, you want to Google it, it's actually spelled Aberfan, but it's pronounced Aberfan. And the coal board had piled up a great mountain of coal slurry, and we call them coal rocks, pit rocks up here. And so they had this, and it was over this school, and then on the hillside, and then it rained one night, and it just came down the hillside, and it took some houses and killed people there, and it hit this school. And I have a look at it, I've done a video about it. I'm sure it's still up there. I can't see any reason why I would have deleted it, because it's quite a significant thing, and it killed over 100 children and some teachers. And it just identified this village in Wales for the rest of time, and there are monuments there, and it's unbelievably tragic. And that was the rain that caused that, so that was caused by the weather really. But apart from that, and we don't have many now, I can't think of any apart from the odd storm. And when they have these storms that are named storms, we don't particularly get it very bad up here. They don't like Scotland and some places in Wales and Cornwall for some weird reason. I think it's because it's kind of a peninsula into the sea. But we don't have it too bad, and we haven't had it too bad for years. But we're getting high winds at the moment, and it's going to make all these beautiful trees above me leafless in the next few days if these winds continue. It's dry at the moment, it's calm. It's rained like mad this morning before we came out, but it's calm now, and it's quite mild, but it's forecast for high winds. And this is what we get in this country. We get wind, sun, rain, heat, cold, one after the other, an hour of each. And that's how it goes, 4 seasons in one day. But it is beautiful out here, and after the rain, the colours are absolutely strikingly beautiful. So we're just going to walk round and talk about how great the countryside is, how great life is, because I think we've concentrated on negatives a bit lately, as my viewing figures testify, falling off a cliff. So I need to put my ideas will be a bit more cheerful. Come on, join us while we have a lovely walk in the English countryside. Now, I've parked at the nearest car park from where we live, which is probably about 2 or 3 minutes drive, and the car park we usually park at is probably about another 3/4 of a mile. I don't know why we park there. I don't know why we just don't park here. It's a lot easier and not as busy. But I've been thinking lately, and I think I've mentioned it on here, of moving. I've definitely wanted to move, and I've been looking at places further north in Northumberland, and on up to the Scottish borders. But I've been thinking about it. I thought, yeah, there's a lot of countryside up there, but what if I go somewhere and it's just like farmers' fields round me? There may be a rights of way through it, but it won't be the countryside I've got here. And if I wanted to walk up here, I actually drive up here because Molly's an old lady, but we used to walk up here. It'd take us like 5 to 10 minutes to walk up here. And then I can get on these paths here, and these paths go through woodland, moorland, back into woodland, hills, valleys, streams, everything you can think of, deciduous woodlands, conifer woodlands, everything, every diverse kind of habitat you can think of, and basically go for miles. I could set off this morning with a backpack on, and all these paths are linked, and I could walk all the way to Yorkshire. I could walk basically up to the Scottish borders, hundreds of miles away, and I can do this because it's just linked. There's massive amount of countryside in the UK, and it's all linked, and I could just walk forever. And I've got all this here. It's beautiful. You go out some places where you walk on the moors, and I love going to the Lake District. Well, there's something about this where I can be in woodland. There's a jay, 2 jays just flown across in front of us. They can go where there's this beautiful mixed woodland with all these beautiful trees. There's a blue sky above us coming through, and then further on here I come into an open area, and then we go further and we start climbing up the hill, and then we get onto the moorland, which is open access land, so you can wander about wherever you want. We go beyond that, and then we cross a main road, one main road, at a place called Belmont, and then we're off into the countryside again, and we walk and walk, and there are links, there are footpaths linking each other, and then we get onto the Pennines, and over the top of the Pennines, and we drop down into Yorkshire after a couple of days of walking. Then we can head up north through the Trough of Bowland and up through the North Yorkshire moors and whatever to Scotland, and all this you can get there without hardly crossing a bloody road. But round here where I am, it's just, I think I should stay around here just for just for the countryside I've got around here and the access to it. I was talking to my friend about this, and she kind of agreed, and she'd said that she'd thought about this. She's like been encouraging me to move, and then she was saying like, yeah, but what have you got there? So I think what I may try to do is find somewhere even closer to the countryside. I've got a little street fronted terrace with no real back garden, and I've never had anything like that. I've always had houses with quite a bit of land with them, so I need that space. So I may just look for somewhere a bit closer, or actually in this woodland somewhere. But there's like I say, because it's all linked, I don't need to really be here. I could be a couple of miles over there, a few miles over there, because they're all linked. But this is where around here is Rivington Forest, Rivington Gardens, and it was all landscaped by Lord Rivington in about 1912. Well, around that time, about 25 years he did work on it, and I have 2 videos about Lord Rivington's Rivington on my site, on my channel. Right, fairly close to the beginning, quite a few years ago, I did a couple of videos about that, and so all this round here is actually landscaped, but it was landscaped 125 years ago, so it's just become what it is. It's just become a natural landscape. It's one of the great successes in landscaping, because you've got people like Capability Brown, who were landscape designers for the gentry, so it was fabricated. They were like fondant follies, whereas this is specifically landscaped to be forgotten about, to just become natural landscaping, which I think was incredibly selfless of Lord Rivington. I mean, he was a very generous, selfless person, and I think it was because he didn't want it to be dedicated to him, to be a monument to him. And we all know around here what it is, but anybody who isn't from around here wouldn't have a clue. I explain to people about Lord Rivington and how this, and they just think it's a natural woodland. And I think that's what he wanted. He wanted to go and just leave it and like, don't praise me, you just enjoy it. And that's what it's like up here. And we had selfless people like that, didn't we? We don't know. I mean, okay, you might say that they made the money off the workers, the working class. But he was working class. He was actually, I think was it a butcher's son from Bolton. And then he started Lever Brothers, which became a massive company, and I think it still is a massive company. And he had a soap works called Port Sunlight. There was a soap works there across the water from Liverpool, and he built a village there for his workers. He built a village with all the amenities, and he wasn't the only one, because the same thing happened at Saltaire in Yorkshire. I can't remember his name, you'd have to Google that. I've done a video about that as well. I could stand here and rack my brains and try and think of his name, but anyway, we're coming up to now one of the footpaths. The castle is over to my left. That's when we park up on that car park. It like leads up to Liverpool Castle, which is a folly, which is a copy of a castle that used to stand in the middle of Liverpool, called Liverpool Castle. And the paths radiate out from it in straight lines. I think there are 4. And we're reaching one of them. We walk up one of them from the car park, and this is another one that radiates out, and they all radiate out at about 30 degrees from each other. So you walk up to the castle, and then there are 3 or 4 different routes you can walk, and they all lead in fairly straight lines back up towards the road in and Rivington Pike and Rivington Gardens, which is over to my left, which is a beautiful landscaped area with follies and lakes and waterfalls and all sorts of things. This covers several square miles. But this is beautiful. For some reason it feels like a perfect kind of day. There are very few people about. It's a very popular place, and even when everybody's at work, you usually get all the dog walkers out. Perhaps I come out a few minutes later. Perhaps they've all walked the dogs before they've gone to work or going about the day. So it's quiet and it's very mild. It should be cold. It said it felt like 3 degrees on my phone this morning, but it's not. It's certainly a lot higher than that. It's quite mild. It's very still at the moment. So I'm saying that we're going to lose all the leaves. Perhaps we aren't, but the wind will pick up, and I've got to record it while I can, take the opportunity, because the English weather, the weather everywhere is unpredictable, and it could come along, blow all these leaves down, and then that's it for another 12 months. You will not experience this again for another 12 months. So we've got to get out here. You've got to get out here. And if you can't get out here, at least experience it through the media. There are so many channels with filming and photography far better than mine that record the seasons, all the seasons, spring, summer, autumn and winter, and they are really worth watching because they're professionally done and usually have nice music on, and you can sit and have them on in the background, because if you miss it, you can just go back and watch it again. If you want to watch it again, you can watch it again. And because these are put on over the years and are there, out there on the internet forever, you can actually watch. If there's a season you like, you can watch it before it comes in, can't you? We're into autumn now, so you can watch it now. Or you could have watched it at the end of summer. You can watch winter. You can watch videos about snow on hills and mountains, hanging from icicles, hanging from trees. You can watch that. When it's winter, you can watch videos about spring and look forward to that. Or summer, when it's freezing outside, and you can watch videos and you can actually almost feel the warmth, but you can't actually feel the warmth. That's just your imagination. It's your memory, isn't it? Telling you, ah, yes, warmth. I know that. I'm familiar with that. Molly's in front of us here now. She's quite sprightly this morning. She's having a good day. She slept well. She's sleeping well, and she started eating again, which is my main concern with Molly. I can hear a dog barking behind me, so someone else is out with their dog. It's beautiful, like I say, I can't get over how mild it is. And we've had more good days than bad days this year. And Molly's stopped now because she wants to go that way, because she thinks we parked on the car park where we usually park. She does this every time. She gets a bit confused, she forgets where we parked. But I'm looking over to my left now, and a tree that was green a month ago and then was brown is now golden and almost yellow. You can see the leaves changing almost daily, continuously. Almost got run over by a runner then for some reason. He kind of ran up behind me and then ran towards me. I think he must have been running around a puddle. Thought he was going to shoulder charge me out of the way like a rugby player. Oh, it's bloody hell. It's Archie. I can hear Archie. There's a big Samoyed. Well, I don't think he's a true Samoyed, but he looks like one. And he's behind us because I can hear his bell ringing. So, pretty short. And he's one of Molly's, his mum is one of Molly's biscuit people. So pretty soon she's going to get a biscuit. Just walking slowly down a country lane under trees in England, with a reservoir in front of us and a woodland in front of us. So diverse. There's a field to our left, there's trees, there's a woodland to our right, there's woodland in front of us, there's fields behind us, there's a big sky full of grey clouds and white, very dramatic because the sun tries to come through, and the gust is coming up now. It's gusting a little bit now, so perhaps this is a precursor to the high winds we're going to get that are going to blow all the leaves away. Seems to be getting a bit busier now. There are more people knocking about. Well, people running and on bikes. The kind of people who seem to shout a lot. There's like a runner and a cyclist, and they're like 10 feet from each other behind me, and they're shouting at each other. Perhaps they're from the local deaf cycling club and deaf running club, I don't know. So we've come just a little bit out of the way here, and this is on the edge of the reservoir, and there are ducks behind us paddling through the water. There is marshland at the bottom of this slope that is replete with wildlife of huge diversity. And that's one good thing about this country. It's wet, I know. And you get people, other parts of the country, complaining about, oh, the English, why go there, it's wet. And they say, well, we want to go. And then they say, well, it's wet. Well, why do you think it's wet? It's because of where it is on the globe. I mean, it's fairly high up on the globe. And we're a maritime nation, we're completely surrounded by rain, so it's going to be wet. But the trouble with that, or the good thing about that is, it's green. The wet makes my country green. And that green grass is eaten by black and white and brown cows that then give out really beautiful, high quality white milk. And for all you carnivores out there, it gives us fabulous steaks. We don't go by size over here, we go by quality, and it gives us fabulous, fabulous steaks, fabulous meat, all fed by the fabulous countryside. It's this circle of life, isn't it? We don't think about it, do we? We don't think about that. We don't think about how we work in sympathy, symbiotically with the nature around us. We do, if we let things go naturally, we naturally fall into this rhythm with nature. It's when we introduce different things, unnatural things, into nature, things that have no place in nature, that we get this harsh clash, this jarring clash. But when we leave things alone, things just, it's symbiotic. It's beautiful. It just all gels together. It works together. One supports the other. Nature supports our way of life, our farmers, our fishermen. And we support nature by looking after the land and the landscape, by clearing it for farmland, but sympathetically looking after the woodland, like this woodland has been looked after, and it's so beautiful. And if it's looked after, it will continue to be here to bless generations after we are gone, after me and Molly are just a little bullet point in time. It'll still be here and people will still be enjoying it. So we've got to look after things. Just look after them. I'm not saying, you know, progress is progress and that's great. I'm just saying that don't forget nature. And don't forget our place in nature. And don't forget that if we look after nature, it'll look after us. And appreciate nature. And when you walk through nature, look, I've said this so many times. Well, don't just look, see. See nature, listen to nature, be aware of your place in nature, because we're all part of it, we're all just animals. Not that long ago, in the scheme of things, we were living in nature, naked, grubbing for roots, hunting down game. Not that long ago, you know. We've come a long way in a short time, and perhaps that's one of the problems. A long way in a short time. We've rushed headlong. We wanted everything. We wanted instant gratification, and we got it. We made sure we got it. But at what cost? We've been able to look after nature so far against all odds, because people do want to destroy nature for their own gains, but people have stood up against it and said, no, we will protect this. We will put laws into place to protect our fields and woodlands and ancient pathways that people want to close off, that people have used in England and in the UK, have used for 5,000 years. The paths I walk on a daily basis in the countryside on the moors above here are ancient pack roads between villages. The one behind me is between Chorley and Belmont and Bolton. Coffin trails where you couldn't bury people, so you had to carry the coffin. And there are stones where people, all around the country, where people would put the coffin as they walked the coffin roads. Lich gates. Look at a lich gate. What do you think a lich gate is? A lich gate is there for people to rest the coffin in the dry under the lich gate while they waited for their turn to go into the chapel. It's all there. It's all history. It's all wonderful. We've got ours, you've got yours. Yours is wonderful, mine is wonderful. Learn about it. Learn about your history. Don't neglect it. The future is not written in stone. The future will be what it will be. Maybe good, maybe bad. That's down to us. But the past is gone. The past is history. The past can't be changed. So soak yourself up in it. Revel in it. It's a wonderful, wonderful place to be. And now Molly and I are going to carry on our walk. It feels like it might rain, but then there's blue sky in front of me. Very odd. There's also a lovely woodland in front of me. It's quiet. Can't hear any bird song. But it's still beautiful. So I'm going to go up to my mum's. And I will see you when we get back. We will see you on the flip. Peace and love.